All right, it's game number 72 for the Boston Celtics. It's the start of a 4-game road trip out west at Portland against the Trailblazers. This is the CLNS Media Celtics pregame report. I'm your host, Josue Pavone. I'm joined by Dave Deckard of SB Nation's Blazer Edge, and he's here to preview this matchup. Thanks for checking in, David.
Well, it should be interesting for the Blazers because they've been riding high. A long win streak broken by the Houston Rockets on Tuesday night. Boston's also been one of the best teams in the league all year long. So this is a little bit of a marquee matchup, even though we're exiting the dog days and getting into the tank days.
Yeah, that's right. That's exactly what it is. It's that time of the season. Hey, Dave, speaking of the winning streak, what led to this 13-game winning streak that was snapped earlier this week against the Rockets Tuesday night? A streak that was good enough to push the Trailblazers into the 3rd seed in the Western Conference. And are you surprised that this team is clicking so well just in time when teams are fighting for playoff position?
Well, first of all, Damian Lillard, he's been playing otherworldly. I mean, just pouring in 30 points a night, just absolutely dominating the floor. If you take away one thing, he scores in 2 other ways. It was an amazing run. And that opened up everything for everyone else because once the dam was broken at point guard, all of a sudden, people are getting wide open shots, and even the Blazers can hit those. There's been a little bit of fortune in there, too. The Blazers encountered some injuries to credible opponents that rendered them less than credible. So a combination of great skill, finding themselves, a little bit of unselfishness, and opponents being down, it all led to one of the league's longest winning streaks this season.
Yeah, speaking of injuries, Dave, I mean, the shorthanded Celtics are fresh off their most impressive win of the season where they topped the Thunder Tuesday night at TD Garden. And, considering the circumstances, it was an impressive win to say the least. What would you say are some of the weaknesses the Celtics could exploit tonight against Portland? What's it going to take for the C's to top the Trailblazers tonight?
There haven't been a ton of weaknesses lately because the supporting cast has followed Lillard's lead. Al-Farouq Aminu is shooting a career high in 3-point percentage, and he just torched the Rockets on Tuesday night. They left him open using old playoff strategy in defending the Blazers, and he hit I think it was 7 3-pointers. It was disgusting. Maurice Harkless doing the same thing. Yusuf Nurkic, if you leave him single-guarded against anyone who's not as big as he is, he's going to score in the post, too.
Yeah,
so
Nurkic has been great.
Lately, yes. Over the season, this has been a different story, but in the last month, it's all been working. So, traditionally, though, the money says you let those 3 players try to beat you. And if you can get down to Evan Turner or lower in Portland's bench, maybe get Nurkic in foul trouble, then you have a better chance. So, look, the Blazers have been proving people wrong for 30 days, but the season's more than 30 days long, and that's still the way I think to go at them.
This edition of the Celtics pregame report is brought to you by SeatGeek. Download the SeatGeek app for your best deals in sports and concert tickets. And when you enter the promo code Garden Report, you save $20 off your first purchase. All you have to do is download the SeatGeek app, enter the code Garden Report, and save $20 off your first purchase. Dave, with the season winding down, there's been recent talk about who should win MVP and Coach of the Year. It's that time of the season as well. For the most valuable player, I'm going to go with the guy that torched Portland for 42 points Tuesday night. I mean, that guy's name is James Harden. But for Coach of the Year, I think there should be some serious consideration for what Brad Stevens had to endure this season with the injuries that he's endured, with the roster that he's had to deal with, and still holding on to one of the best records in the East. However, Terry Stotts, head coach of the Portland Trailblazers, of course, has emerged as a potential candidate. Where do you stand in this conversation of MVP and Coach of the Year? Who are some of the guys you think are deserving for these honors?
Well, with MVP, I think it's going to be Harden, and I don't think there's any doubt about that. Since day one, he's had that team on his back. I know they got Chris Paul, but Paul has taken a back seat to Harden and made clear that it's his show. And the Rockets have excelled. I mean, the best record in the NBA, can't argue with it. I don't think that there's any credible second candidate. I mean, Anthony Davis, sure, but that's not working out quite as well. So that one's easy. Coach of the Year is harder. I think you've got Toronto. I think you've got Boston. I think you've got Portland. I think those are the 3 considerations. Toronto probably started ahead of the other 2 a little bit as far as expectations, and usually Coach of the Year is the person who came in with the lowest expectations and exceeded them the most. By that measure, Terry Stotts, I think, might have a claim, and certainly I think if the Blazers continue this rampage, I think that claim will become stronger. I wouldn't object to Brad Stevens. I think he's a perennial candidate, and I see it as just neck and neck. I wouldn't scream if either of those 3 won.
All right, Dave, I'm going to end this one with the same way I end every single Celtics pregame report. Prediction time. Who do you think wins tonight?
Yeah, I mean, this is a really hard one. My gut says the Blazers should come back because their play was legit, and they should be angry about losing so narrowly to the Rockets. I think it's probably Portland if Portland has intentions to be good. But the Blazers have not always shown those intentions, and they often fall apart. They were terribly inconsistent the first part of the season, and I think the door is open. If the Blazers are going to revert back to form, I think this is actually a credible win for Boston. I think that would be the scenario. I'm going to still go with Portland because I think they were for real, but it would not surprise me to see them follow up one bad loss with another tough one.
Yeah, I have to agree with you, Dave. If I had to pick one for tonight, I would pick the Trailblazers, but I think this is going to be a very, very, very competitive game, and it's going to be interesting to see who comes out in the end. We may see a similar ending to what we saw at the end of the Thunder game, but I don't know who's going to be shooting that final shot and which team that player is going to be, which uniform he'll be rocking at the end. He is Dave Deckard. You can check him out on Twitter at Dave Deckard, and also check out his work. His website is blazeredge.com. Dave Deckard, thank you for coming by, man. We appreciate you for stopping by and checking in for this edition of the Celtics pregame.
Absolutely, and I should tell you, if it comes down to one shot, though, that's Portland's on either end. So, hope it goes well for you.
I think it might be Lillard if I had to pick one, if I had to guess.
Very good.
Well, that's going to do it for this edition of the Celtics pregame report. Make sure you check out the Celtics postgame show on clnsmedia.com. You can call in toll-free at 347-215-7771 after the game to get on the air. Or just like this show, you can listen to it on demand on the CLNS Media mobile app. Weekday shows air on the Celtics Newsfeed channel, on iTunes, Stitcher, and the CLNS Media mobile app. For today's Boston Celtics pregame report with Josue Pavone, this is Josue Pavone signing off.